G'day, everybody. I want to talk about why things shouldn't all just get banned because we're in this society. If it's too hard and people have got too much complaints, they banned it. But eventually, if you banned everything because they're getting too hard, oh, there's a cat out. How did a cat get out? Melly? Melly, inside. I'll get back to what I was talking about in a minute, people. So, come on, Millie. Yeah, you're going to scare him. She must have sneaked out just before because I come out here before. And she must have sneaked out, everybody. So lucky at seeing her again. So I was just putting some food down on the other side. I'm going to give it another blow. So lucky I come back. So in a way, see, I always catch, yeah, you can go out. A cat Melly sometimes she gets out. Just, I shut the door like that. And then I just noticed then when I seen her that the door was like that. And she'll come over and she'll claw it open and get out. You can be out there for a second. Now, back to what I was talking about people banning things. And people all have different opinions. Like people are banning books at the moment because they've got an opinion of it. But books are written to help people, and then some people might get upset about it. That's just the way it is. Or to show a point about things and what not to do. So if you've got a book that's not good, you don't ban it. You can just say, put in the end of the book or the start of the book, this is a book that you shouldn't look up to or something like that. You shouldn't maybe do this kind of thing. But here's the book, here's the example. You don't ban things unless you've got a real good reason that book actually hurts people. It's like guns. It's like the gun doesn't hurt people. It's the people that use it. So the book doesn't hurt anybody, right? It's not showing you how to build a bomb. It's not telling you, because these are books that'll hurt people. It's not telling you professional ways to kill people and stuff like that. They're not books like that. They're not really hurting anybody. They just might have a different opinion. You shouldn't ban it because you banned all these opinions. In the end, all you'll have is a zombie world of no opinions and no one standing up for nothing and afraid to do things because they're worried about people coming in and making everything look bad, right? So don't be so attacky on everything, and things are there to help us and learn and see and what not to do. So when it comes to games at school, see, I used to play a game, so here's another example. And we called it British Bulldogs. And you used to run from one side of the field to the other. I've talked a little bit about this game, I'm pretty sure, in a clip ages ago, but I'll quickly use this for an example in this point. And you used to have the tag, and you have a big group, and they run from one side to the other, and you start off with one person, and they throw a ball or tag you as the group goes, and they're game moments. And as he tags people, they become in the middle and they keep tagging or throwing a ball until everyone's caught, until there's only one dude or two people trying to get past this group until you get the winner, right? Or the last couple of people because they get caught at once, but someone gets hit last, right? And that's how you get the winner of the British Bulldogs. Now, this game got banned because kids couldn't help themselves, but to use the game for an excuse to do something. And what I mean by that is that they started throwing golf balls. And we didn't have a tennis ball, so they used other things. And they go, oh, look, I'll throw it gently and stuff like that. But then they weren't meant to throw it. But then when you weren't looking, they would throw it anyway and go, I gotcha. And then say, I didn't really mean to hurt you with it. It was just a game to try to get you with it. And I just had it in my pocket. And so we had kids throwing golf balls and we had kids throwing cricket balls to hurt people. And the game got banned because we kept getting told at assembly not to use these things because you're going to ruin it for everybody. But bullies will be bullies. And they kept doing it. And the bullies got in trouble for doing it. But instead of just the bullies getting in trouble for doing it and getting bigger punishments, is what they did is the bullies got into trouble. Then they banned the game to stop the bullies from going out there because they couldn't handle the bullies. So the best thing to do is just to handle the bullies, really, and go with higher punishments. I see why they couldn't handle the bullies because they weren't allowed to go to a higher punishment, or they didn't think they needed to. Because once you've tried things so many times, you just got to go higher and threaten higher. It's just you threaten at first too, and then if they don't listen, you try so much, and things can take time. But you've got to go higher, because if you don't, you just go, "Oh, we're just going to ban that game and get rid of that problem. I'm going to and punish everybody." That's not how you solve it. You can solve it like that, but it's not the proper way to solve it, and it ruins fun. See, when it comes to that game and that injury, see, I'd say it, even if it did happen and it didn't stop, it could still go and be a good thing, because people would only get, I'd only get injured because I'd be one of them, get injured by one of these balls and that. People pay you back, what goes around comes around. And so these people injured, everyone was getting injured every day, but you got a few hundred people there. And the kids were only getting on injured if they got really rough in things, like I did, say once a month or so, or every couple of weeks, right? They only got injured, got a cut, broke a leg or something like that because of being too rough or mucking around. And those are nothing compared to all the fun that they missed out on. So you had a whole month of fun, and then you might get a black eye or a sore arm or a bruise or a sprained ankle or something like that because you're a little bit rough. Would you take that sprained ankle or bump or bruise for all that fun, or would you have no fun at all? That game's not there. You can't have that fun at all because the risk is gone now, and you won't get injured, but there's no fun. You know what I mean, people? So there's a fine line between banning things, isn't it? Like, I understand people get injured, but you sort out why the injuries are happening or who's causing the injuries. You don't need to ban it, and you change it. That's how I see it. But banning is the last resort. Like, if things don't change after you've tried everything, then you banned it. But a lot of things get banned too quickly, in my opinion, and a lot of things don't get looked into as good. That just someone has a decision to make, and they're allowed to make it, and they make it. They don't look into things properly enough to figure out why that incident was happening or why they're having a problem with what that book says and stuff like that. What else can I say? Oh, and back in the day too, like another naughty thing I used to do, I used to play chasey on roofs all the time because we got bored of playing chasey on the ground, so we used to play chasey on the roof. You can get up on the roof now, and because we can do that, it was really hard to catch people. Right? And so what we did, we upgraded the game chasey. Instead of just stopping something, you can upgrade things. And then we upgraded it so we had 2 or 3 chasers. So if someone got up on the roof to try to get away, and the chaser went up there to get them, they couldn't just jump off quickly, or the other people they're trying to get, because there's a few people in the group, just jump off. So you had extra people, so they were down waiting for you. So when you jumped off, they're going to come and get you. Now, I'm not saying, and that was a game we played, and that caused injuries and sprain. It's not a safe game at all. I do not recommend to play this game. But I do recommend that we could have a place for teenagers or older kids that don't need to play in a playland and pools and in balls and stuff. And you see these hoppers and droppers people things, and we got stadiums and sheds for that. We could have a shed built for like chasey, for people to have fun. You can call it a game, tag game, and make these games up. And have these little buildings in the shed and have softer areas around and stuff where we could play it. Such a fun game, because it is fun to play if you don't get injured, and you can jump up and you can jump down, and it's a little risky, and risk is fun. So if you're going to have a fun risky game, you put in the safety things and you hope nothing happens, because you can still break a leg if you land on something soft. It depends on how you land and just the way things are. But you know what I mean? You could create that in a shed, what I'm talking about, for people to go have fun. And then kids wouldn't do what I'm saying now, and kids will always try to do what they've heard before, and we'll hear everything because we've got the Discovery Channel, don't we? And we've got the internet, that if you want to know something, you can look up something. If you want to be naughty, you can be naughty and find out how to do it by looking it up. So the best thing is, if you ever know a story like I just mentioned, when it comes to chasey on the roof and what naughty things I used to do, is try to fix that problem so maybe it doesn't need to happen. So if it was happening in your town, maybe you can build that shed and someone can make money off what the kids are doing instead of just banning things. You know what I mean? It's hard to get that out really quickly, my point, but I hope people who out there who are smart and cluey like me would see it and see my points of what I'm trying to talk about, is that you can actually turn things, instead of banning them, you can make money off it. and put it the other way. Everything can be looked at a different way. It depends on how you want to look at it collectively. Anyway, people, I've had a good blab. Have a good one. See you later.